This video is about comparing various flexi cap funds. So for comparison, we are using Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund, Motilal Oswal Flexi Cap Fund, JM Flexi Cap, Quant, DSP, and HDFC. So the data is from 2014. So what we have done is we have looked at the minimum returns, maximum, median, and mean returns across different time horizons, and we have looked at the number of negative instances as well, right? So for again, so the first 3 years doesn't make a lot of sense because for any equity investment, ideal horizon should be more than 5 years. So the 5 and 7 and 10 years is the most important time horizons which we have to look at. So let's look at the median returns because the minimum returns and the medium returns are the ones which matter the most because this is the this is the range where 50% of the investors end up being, right? So it is we don't know what happens. Maybe you will be ending up at the maximum return as well. But since there's a 50% chance that the minimum to median, you end up between minimum to median, it's always best if you look at the minimum returns more than anything else. So for example, if you look at the Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund, so so not just Parag Parikh, all the funds from 5 to 10 years horizon, right? The median returns for Parag Parikh has been around 18%. For Motilal Oswal, it has been ranging from 12 to 11 to 16%. So for JM FlexiCap, it is around 15 to 18%, right? So for Quant FlexiCap, it is around 19-20%. So for DSP FlexiCap, it is around 14-15%. And for HDFC FlexiCap, it is around 13 to 15%, right? So when we look at it, Parag Parikh and the Quant are the ones which are looking extremely, what do we say, consistent, right? From 5 to 10 years, it is here it is around 18, and here it is around 19.5. We can say, right? Now the other important metric would be the negative instances, right? Parag Parikh FlexiCap from year 3 onwards, there are no negative instances, right? Probably this is the only fund without any negative instances after year 3. So for Motilal Oswal FlexiCap, approximately around 7% of the investors would have made. Approximately 7% of the times the return would have been negative. For JM FlexiCap, it would have been around 3%. For Quant, it is close to 4.5%. And for DSP FlexiCap, around 1%. And for HDFC FlexiCap, around 8%. Right. So again, so the median returns, the minimum returns, and the negative instances, right? So the median returns, probably Quant Flexi Cap Fund is doing 1 percentage point better than the Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund. On the minimum return side, from year 3 onwards, there are no negative instances for Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund. For Quant, on the year 3 side, the minimum return has been around negative 9.62%, right? So compare this with Parag Parikh, it is at 0%. Okay, on a 5 year basis, there is no negative. On the 5 year basis, HDFC FlexiCap and the Quant are the only ones which are having negative instances. On the 7 year basis, there are no negative instances on any fund actually. Now let's again, when you are going for the actively managed funds, you have to look whether these funds are suitable to you or not. It's not just about mean returns or median or maximum or minimum returns. You have to see whether the thesis of the fund manager is matching to your thinking as well or not, right? Say just because the median returns are high, it doesn't mean you have to choose these funds, right? Or else the maximum return is high. So you have to understand how the fund manager is thinking because in the key information memorandum and all the documents which the scheme information documents, they'll be mentioning what kind of asset allocation they are following and all that stuff. And probably you can even look at some of the fund manager interviews because every one of them have given their interviews in the past, and even these interviews are available now as well. That's one. And second is like you have to see if there is any change in the fund manager as well. So for Motilal Oswal FlexiCap, there was a change in fund manager in 2022, right? So now, did it change the performance of the fund or not? Even that you have to check. And again, these are past returns. You have to understand that the past results need not be replicated in the future. Okay. So, and across the different time horizons, the returns vary. So right now we are looking from 2014 to present day. These are the returns which are there. And whenever you are choosing the active funds, it's not just about comparing the returns across different active funds. You have to check with the various indices. And these are all the funds which we have taken here are regular funds, right? Direct funds probably will have a return higher return of 0.5% to 1%. But if you are going with the regular funds, so usually it means you are going with a distributor. In that case, you have to make sure that it is fitting your asset allocation and is it fitting to your goal planning or not, right? Now let's look at the two different time horizons. One is from 2014 to 2018, and the other is from 2019 to today, and the finally from 2014 to today, right? 2014 to today. So if you look at it, Motilal Oswal fund has outperformed the NAV wise, right? But on the rolling returns basis, what you are seeing is here is different. One reason is, there will be periods where the fund can be flat. There will be periods where the fund will be growing. Okay. So as a result, it's not just the highest return which you have to look at. Always the rolling returns matter. And somebody who has invested in 2014, and if somebody is looking at his portfolio in 2018, Motilal Oswal Flexi Cap Fund would be delivering the highest return, despite our analysis proving something different, right? So even the maximum return on a 10-year basis, it is coming up to 17.68% only. But from 2014 to 18, at that point of time, the returns are high. This is not on the rolling basis. Again, here the returns signify from 2014 to 25, right? So probably these returns, the max returns which you are seeing here, which are greater than 25, are coming later in the later periods. That's the reason why you are having the highest on the Motilal Oswal Flexi Cap. And the ones which has given the least return in this period is HDFC Flexi Cap Fund, right? So, and Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund is somewhere, its performance is in line with the DSP Flexi Cap Fund, right? Both of them ended at a similar place. JM Flexi Cap and Quant Flexi Cap ended at something on a similar place. Now let's look at what has happened from 2019 to present day. So from 2019 till COVID, pretty much all the funds are in the similar range. But if you look at the change from 2020 onwards, till 21, it was Parag Parikh FlexiCap which has done slightly delivered higher returns, right? But from 21 onwards till today, it is a Quant FlexiCap which has given the highest return. If you look at it, Parag FlexiCap has done closely. It has delivered the similar returns as well. So on the quant side, if you look at it, if you observe this chart, there is a huge amount of volatility. The drawdowns are also higher. On the Parag Parikh FlexiCap side, yes, there are drawdowns, no doubt, but the drawdowns are comparatively a bit lower. One reason being they have been in a lot of cash, so that's the reason why the drawdown should be lower. But they have consistently grown, right? So, say for example, if you are somebody who has invested here on the Quant Flexi Cap Fund, probably by this time, but that is by 2023, after 1 year's time, so your return would be proper. It's almost like a close to zero, right? To yeah, 250 to 278, right? So close to 10%. On the other hand, if you are going with the Parag Parikh Flexi Cap, at this point of time, you would have generated a higher return. That's how it happens. Few funds grow in a, what do we say, slightly consistent manner. Few funds exhibit a lot of volatility. And again, if you look at the JM Flexi Cap Fund, so till from 2020 to 2021, so it was the fourth best performing Flexi Cap Fund. So, but by the time we have reached the 2025, 2024, so it's the second best performing one. It has done better than the Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund. But if you look at the drawdown from 10th October 2024 to today, again, it has exhibited something, a huge amount of drawdown was there. Something similar to a Quant Flexi Cap Fund, right? So now if you look at it, these are the three funds which have been the top performers in this 5 years horizon. But if you look from 2014 to 18, Quant FlexiCap, JM FlexiCap, and Parag Parikh FlexiCap, they performed a lot lower compared to Motilal Oswal, compared to the NAV performance, right? So when Motilal Oswal was at 251, so these are around 200. Okay. So, and if you look here, HDFC Flexi Cap Fund has done the least performance, but from 2019 to present, so HDFC Flexi Cap Fund has delivered something similar to JM Flexi Cap. And if you look at it, its drawdowns are also comparatively lower compared to the Quant Flexi Cap and JM Flexi Cap, right? So it is also inching higher. So the one which has performed the most has been Motilal Oswal in the first 5 years, but in the next 5 years, it has delivered a lesser performance. Again, if you look at it, in the 5 years, even this one has delivered around 100% return. So that doesn't mean it is a low performing one, but compared to the other funds, it has not delivered that much. So from 14 to today, if you look at it, so again, see the highest generating may be the Quant, but if you look at the drawdowns, it has been a lot higher. So that's the reason why whenever you are choosing the funds, you have to look at your asset allocation and you have to see if this kind of volatility suits you. If not, you want to go with a consistently performing fund, which doesn't. It's just like a game of cricket where few people believe in going for sixes and boundaries, and they're all right losing the wicket. And there are few people who just want to rotate the strike and score some singles and get to the goal. So what kind of a person you are is something you have to decide and then accordingly choose the funds, right? And even before deciding which fund to go with, ideally you have to check whether it is suiting your asset allocation and whether is it in line with your goal planning or not. In case you have a distributor or a financial advisor, it is prudent to discuss with them. So this video is for educational purpose only. It is neither a recommendation to buy nor sell the asset class in discussion. Thank you.